Hi guys, in this screencast I just want to share a few of my experiences and suggestions for working with preparing online lessons. Now just for context, my situation is that I've been a Mac user for a while. At least I use a MacBook and iMac for most of my work. I use statistical software that doesn't work so well on the iPad, so I've wanted to kind of keep my life simpler, so I don't use the iPad for in-class presentations, although I do have one. And it doesn't work so well for doing demos of the software we're using. So I was committed to using some solutions that would work on a MacBook or MacBook Pro and would not rely on, say, using an iPad for preparation. So the situation then, sort of a couple of solutions that I had were, one, to use Screecast-O-Matic. There are lots of ways to record screen captures, screencasts. The one that I had been using already for a while was Screecast-O-Matic, and it does let me do some editing depending on the features you want. It could be $20 to $50 per year if you want to pay for it separately. The other thing that I was using, I had a tablet that I had been using. It was more than 10 years old, and I wanted something a little newer, but didn't want to go in another direction, say either with an iPad or with some sort of Windows-based product. So I just got the low-end Wacom tablet, and I'll provide a link for that. It's not terribly cheap. I mean, it's $60, but it lets you connect to a USB port on your computer and do writing of pretty much whatever kinds of lessons you want to share. And the tool that I was using with it was OneNote from Microsoft. Generally, I've avoided a lot of Microsoft and had for a long time been avoiding OneNote, but I turned out that it actually had some nice features to make my job easier for working and sharing notes and sharing sort of statistical annotation software. So let's just take a look. Then I am within OneNote, and it suggests some of the features that I'd be able to use with a tablet. So I'm making use of a stylus, and I can switch back and forth from the mouse to the stylus. If I select on just one of the folders or pages that I have set up, I'd be in the situation of being able to use share some homework, share a homework problem, and kind of talk students through that. So suppose I had an ebook and I have it open to the particular problem. I can make a screen capture and then paste that in so we could kind of focus on the whole situation at once. So I'm going to highlight number 53 and just make a quick screen capture and then paste it in. So I use Shift Command 4 on the Mac to just highlight, select, and then copy, and then I'm going to be able to paste to OneNote. So now I've got the problem here, so it makes it easier for me to talk through. Now it turns out this ended up being sort of one of these problems that had been sitting around for a while and not getting much attention, but when I looked at it this term I was kind of stunned. This was a study of drive-through medicine, a novel proposal for the rapid evaluation of patients during an influenza pandemic. And it talked about, I think it was waiting time, the length of time that people had to wait to get testing in this particular study that dates back to 2010. So there with the problem, then I could go ahead and use my stylus to do sort of free form, part 1, part 2. I can do drawing, diagrams. I can change the width. Of course, it has all the features of a stylus. You can sort of highlight as well and structure your notebook however you want. But the key thing was making use of OneNote to do diagrams, to do any sort of mathematical notation was going to work easier than any sort of word processing setup that I might have. All right, so that was just a kind of a quick lesson to share some of the things that I've been doing in preparing lessons for this spring. So hope you found that useful, and let me know if you have further questions about capabilities of OneNote. You can set structure. I guess the one thing that I would say that is particularly useful is that it has this sort of infinite canvas set up in OneNote, so you can continue to add problems and continue to work down below, and you're not restricted to just a single page. All right, thanks for listening, and hope this is useful. Take care.